20 minutes of. Jim and Tammy Faye Bakker were removed from the leadership of the PTL ministry because of a sex scandal, while Bakker maintains that he had only a brief encounter with a young woman named Jessica Hahn. That version is disputed by the Reverend Jerry Falwell and by Miss Hahn herself when she appeared on this broadcast 2 weeks ago. I spoke with the Bakkers in their home in Gatlinburg, Tennessee on Wednesday night, and I asked him about the allegation that he and another man had rather prolonged sex with Miss Hahn, and that he had later joked with a third person about his involvement in the affair.
I'm a gentleman.
Believe me, he is a gentleman.
And
he does not say things like, did you get her too? That is not even in Jim Bakker's vocabulary.
And I agreed with my wife we would not discuss this problem again publicly, and I'm just not going to do it. I think someday my side of the story will be able to be told, but I'm not going to just say she said, they said, and he said, and back and forth. I think it's ungentlemanly.
All right, but without the he saids and she saids, yeah. and I grant that that's not worth dwelling in. She comes on the program and says that she is very worried about her. I mean, she says, my life is ruined. I am portrayed now as something that I am not. I am not a strumpet, to use the old word, or a prostitute, or I'm not a bad person. I am not what he has said about me.
Who is he?
Jim Bakker.
Jim Bakker has said nothing about Jessica. Nothing at all.
I spent 15 minutes 7 years ago, and I talked to her on the telephone within the next few hours, the 24 hours, 40 hours, I'm not sure, within the next couple of days. I apologized. I told her I had repented. I had asked God's forgiveness. I had asked her forgiveness. I've had no contact with her in the last 7 years, or with her agents or representatives.
Let me ask you a question about the homosexuality question again as well. Not to dwell on it, but because Jerry Falwell cites it often as the reason for keeping you from coming back, and it was cited by the Assembly.
And that is preposterous.
And it was cited by the Assemblies of God at the time that they, in effect, read you out of the church. You have said, I'm not a homosexual. Mm-hmm. Did you have a homosexual experience?
No. I told my general superintendent of the North Carolina district of the Assemblies of God, I asked him, and I just talked to him, by the way, about a week ago. He told me they had also researched all of these accusations and found them not to be true. And he said, Jim, and if you want to go through what our rehabilitation is, he said, you have our backing, and could be back in our pulpits in 6 months, since you've already been out of the pulpit 6 months. So that'd be
as a minister of the Assemblies of God.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're hurting.
We've been hurt so bad that we're just not sure we want to go back.
He, in effect, said to you that the accusations are not true?
They are not true.
And they are not true.
They are not true.
We checked after the interview with a spokesman for the Assemblies of God, and he told Good Morning America that the rehabilitative process, if Reverend Bakker wanted to go through it, to bring him back into the church, would take actually about 2 years. It could begin only after Jim Bakker would request a hearing, and Reverend Bakker has not yet done that. On Monday, more of the conversation with Jim and Tammy Bakker. We'll talk about what the whole ordeal has done to them personally. It is now